Season is finally over, ladies and gentlemen, and great finish. Terrible day of football. It was awful, man. I watched every game, and it's like watching paint dry, man. 3 o'clock games were a little better. The noon games were just god awful. Bears and Eagles both losing, unbelievable. I'm gonna wait for Ray to get into this game we just watched and some of the fucking coaching malpractice we saw. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers, though. As a Bears fan, I've always loved Aaron Rodgers. I think the hate on Aaron Rodgers has gone too far, whether it's personal, professional. Dude's a top 2 quarterback I've ever seen outside of Tom Brady. I think he's number 2. And as a person, I fucking love the guy. I would love to have him on the show. I'd love to talk to him. I'd love to have a beer with him. Love to do ayahuasca with the guy. That'd be a fucking awesome trip. So, I'm pretty salty because, as you guys know, I had all those Ravens Super Bowl tickets at 25-1. And it looked like it was still okay, like still okay. And then, Tyler Loop missed kick. I mean, once you saw the Steelers miss the extra point, it was like, okay, game on. I knew they had the time. 44-yarders, no gimme, especially in Pittsburgh. We're going to go through all the matchups here, all the playoff matchups. We got our playoff fantasy league kicking off on Thursday. Reminder, we actually still have 1 spot available. We had someone drop out. We have 9 people. We can do a 9-team league. It's total points. But if you want to get in, let me know. We'd love to have you. Ravens definitely getting a new coach. Craft Creations, what's going on, bro? I would let Rodgers sign my tits. Damn straight. He can sign my dong. I don't care. I am happy about Aaron Rodgers. That's the one nice thing I have to say about my Ravens tickets being dead now is, I don't know. I don't think they had a chance to win the Super Bowl, but the AFC is wide open. And at least Aaron Rodgers gets another game. Now, they have to play Houston. They're at home against Houston. That is a terrible matchup because Houston's pass rush is unreal. And Aaron Rodgers is old and beat up and hurt, and they have no weapons. Now, DK Metcalf will be back for this game, most likely. Not a good matchup. So this has the makings of a really ugly bloodbath coming for the Steelers here. So I don't know what the line is. I saw the other lines. I got to check. I would guess it would be Houston -3.5 on the road. This game was -3.5, by the way. In the Ravens, I don't know. Again, they went away from Derrick Henry, which is just hilarious. But Blake says Steelers on a Monday night is unreal, though. I do like that part. Aaron Rodgers. Now this might be his last game. He's not coming back next year, folks. Bears on Saturday night. It's going to be a drunken night either way. What's going on, Matt? Yeah, man. I'm happy we got the Packers, honestly, because I don't want to see the Rams. I don't want to see the Niners. I would rather see the Niners than the Rams, but Green Bay, it sucks that we're so familiar with each other, but Green Bay is so beat up. If we can't beat them at home, I know they're our daddies, as Aaron Rodgers said, right? They own us, but if we can't take them down, then we didn't deserve it anyway this year. And again, we're on house money. The Packers are in much more of a win now mode than we are. They traded a lot for Micah Parsons, so we're fine. We're fine. I'm confident in the Bears. I think the Bears are -2.5 at home. That's the line. How did bro miss that 44-yard kick? All right, I'm just going to get into it now because Ray is shitting again, by the way. It's making food or shitting. So he's officially shitting. The guy shits. It's crazy. So I wish Storey was on for this, actually, because as you know, Storey hates Harbaugh. They got that first down, right? 40 it was they were on the 28-yard line. What is it? 24-yard line, okay? So they had 14 seconds left and 2 timeouts. And they choose to kneel the ball with Lamar Jackson and make it a 44-yarder. Where if they just ran the ball and got no yards, for instance, with Derrick Henry, it would have been a 42-yarder. They had 2 timeouts. They could have ran 2 plays. I know Derrick Henry has fumbled, a little bit this year, but it's still Derrick Henry. He's not going to fumble in this situation. I would run the ball twice with Derrick Henry, try to gain 6 yards. That 42-yarder would have became a 36-yarder. So instead of taking, a 42-yarder at the time, they could have just kicked it. They take the kneel down and make it a 44-yarder. This is in Pittsburgh. We just saw Boswell, who's fucking money, miss an extra point in his home stadium. Loop's a rookie kicker. So they made a 42-yarder, a 44-yarder, but they could have made that a fucking 36-yarder, maybe a 34-yarder, maybe a 30-yarder. Maybe Derrick Henry just runs the ball in the end zone. Like, that's such a pussy move by Harbaugh. Like, dude, I don't care unless you have like Brandon Aubrey or Adam Vinatieri or one of these all-time kickers, or uh, the other kicker they had, the rapist, right? Justin Tucker, alleged rapist. Then you do that and kick a 44-yarder. You don't do what they did with the rookie kicker in that situation. Do you guys agree? Let me know in the comments. Do you guys agree? Because that just seems wild to me. A 44-yarder in Pittsburgh is like a 50-yarder indoors. No gimme. I know kicking is like really elite right now in the NFL, but we just saw Boswell miss that kick. So it's rough. Dakota, what's going on, man? Bro, Lamar's trash. No rushing, no wins. He played terrible in the first half, but I mean, he balled out in the second half. Like, both these defenses just let some big plays like get behind them. He's clearly hurt, but for fantasy next year, I'm not touching Lamar Jackson. Definitely not touching him. Not touching Jalen Hurts. These scrambling quarterbacks that are getting up in age. Now, Lamar's only 29 years old, but I feel like the injuries are taking a toll on him. And Jalen Hurts is just a shell of himself physically. So I'm not taking any of these rushing quarterbacks next year. Packers-Bears is probably the most storied game. That's what I'm saying, UNC. John still thinks he has record-breaking Justin Tucker. Like, he has a rookie quarterback. I don't care how much you trust the rookie quarterback. You had 14 seconds. You had 2 timeouts. You have Derrick Henry. Hand the ball off twice. Put some pressure on Pittsburgh. At the very least, you make it a 40-yarder instead of a 44-yarder. Because where they were sitting before Lamar took the 2-yard loss, it was a 42-yarder. So every yard you give up, man, like, I don't know. I just feel like you try to get that to a 35-yarder. Now, 35-yarder, I get like kneeling on it. That's essentially an extra point. But I'm so upset about that. Josh Allen and Drake May will be the top 2 next year for sure. I'm not taking any early quarterback, by the way, Blake. I was looking at the list and kind of projecting my own list. I don't know if you saw in the Discord. Pierre went through and did his own personal rankings, or what he projected that the quarterbacks would be. I'm not taking any early quarterback because there's so many guys that are going to go late that are awesome. Like Jaden Daniels will be outside the top 6. Dakota says, I got Niners getting slapped in Philly. It's a tough matchup for the Niners because the Niners defense can't stop the run, but the Phillies offense has been really, really inefficient at running the ball. So that could go either way, man. I'm not personally putting any of my hard-earned money on Philly. I'm like, you can't bet Philly, dude. Like, this could be a repeat of 2023 when they got smoked by the Buccaneers in the wild card game. So the Panthers, the Panthers and the Steelers, the last 2 teams in. I feel like the Ravens could have been dangerous because the style of ball they play, but the Panthers, they're going to get destroyed, and that's a 10-point line, by the way. Rams -10, and then the Steelers, I don't know, they have no business. They're frauds. Their defense is terrible. Wow, you think the Steelers have a chance of beating the Texans? I mean, I don't hate the matchup because the Texans offense is kind of anemic, but that defense, like, how many points can you saw what the Steelers offense was looking like when Kyle Hamilton was in the game, and then you saw the whole game shift when Kyle Hamilton went out, who is the heart and soul and the best player and the most versatile player on that defense. He makes that defense like he's way more important than Roquan Smith or any of the other players in their team on that side of the ball, and it was a whole different ball game. So Houston has players on all 3 levels, right? They have 2 of the top 10 best edge rushers in the NFL. They have solid linebackers that can run, and they have 2 awesome corners. Like Stingley will lock down DK Metcalf, so DK Metcalf's return won't do much. And then they just have players all over the ball. So Saints sold for the Bucks with that pick. I'm very happy about that because I had a futures bet of Browns last place, Raiders last place, Saints last place. It was like 3.5 to 1. I put like $50 on it in July. And I hedged it halfway through the game. I took the Saints plus 5.5, and both bets ended up hitting because that last touchdown they scored. So I was pretty happy about that. The Bucks, I feel like could have been dangerous. Now, neither of these teams are gonna beat the Rams. The Rams have such a nice spot. I almost like their spot almost better than a bye, if that makes sense, because they're not going to be rusty. They essentially get a bye. Like, there's just no way the Panthers can beat the Rams. No way. Niners defense will help any team's rushing attack become elite. That is true. But you could also say the Eagles offense will help any defense, look competent. And I'm going back to the second half of that Bills-Eagles game where the Bills had no first downs. Jalen Hurts had 0 completions. So that was really rough. I guess we'll see. I'm not touching that game at all. I'm not touching either way just because I'm no expert.
Let's not forget, dude, that keeping wildlife, an amphibious rodent for, domestic within the city, that ain't legal either.
What are you, a fucking park ranger now?
No, I'm just trying to offer...
Who gives a shit about the fucking marmot?
Niners are the hardest team to predict too, Dakota. I have no clue, man. Like, their offense is elite and they get destroyed last week. Brock Purdy got a little banged up, but they're getting healthier. It's all about Kittle's health, really. If Kittle's healthy, I like their chances. I mean, the Eagles team, like, what do they have, man? Their defense is solid. I'll give you that, but I don't know how many points. Like, it's really like, what do you trust more? You trust the Eagles offense more, or you trust the Niners defense more? And that was my argument for taking the Seahawks in that game. Is I trusted Sam Darnold more than I trust the Niners defense. So here we go. We got J-Bob in the house. Birds of shit on Niners next week. We were just talking about that, J-Bob, as you walk in. You must have heard the bells ringing in your head. Eagles talk. Go Birds, though. Go Birds.
Eagles. Go Birds, though.
Oh, go Birds.
All right, fine. Go Birds. Right?
I know
Go
Birds.
Get your hand off my knee.
Go Birds.
J-Bob, are you going to bet on your team? Because it is, let's take a gander here at the line and see what it says. Still reeling from that Ravens loss. I just can't believe that. We have Philly minus 3.5. It opened at 3. It's already at 3.5. So are you gonna bet on your team, J-Bob? Ray, you have some serious bowel issues.
Well, it's also cooking food, but it's a double entendre.
That's the same situation last night.
Yeah, well,
it's like Groundhog's Day.
Well,
Phil Connors, is that you, Phil? J-Bob, this non-belief will not soon be forgotten. Who do you got?
J-Bob.
Eagles, Eagles or Niners? Who do you got?
I will. I'm sure that means you probably took the Niners. I'll take the Eagles. Just at home.
I'm not making a pick. And maybe I call that a sellout. I refuse to pick or bet or do anything with the Eagles just because I'm 0 for 6 on Eagles bets this year.
No, I get that.
Whether
I
it's
guess
prop bets or betting their line or betting against them.
My only thing about the whole NFC is that if we're really going to talk about a team that has a chance to actually make a consistent run, I mean, I think it would be the Eagles just because they won the Super Bowl last year. They have the pedigree. I know they haven't played up to snuff last year, but the whole NFL, especially, the whole NFC hasn't played up to snuff either. So, and they've been playing much better going into the playoffs. And as you and I damn well know, whoever is the hottest in the playoffs usually wins. So I'm just saying.
And it was the Niners up until this week. It was the Niners. You know what I mean?
Well, up until this week is the main thing you said.
But it's not like the Eagles are coming in hot either. I mean, they won some games and they beat up on cupcakes. And then
I don't care.
I consider that Bills game a loss.
Well, I'm saying,
I consider that Bills game a loss.
Why do everybody always just be like shit on teams just because they beat teams that are on their fucking schedule? It's their fault. Like, really? I'm just saying.
No,
I'm
not saying that. I'm saying like they didn't come in with. They're not coming in the playoffs with confidence.
I'm just saying. It's a frustration in general for me of all NFL fans, whether it's people who are on TV or just in comments or just my friends, whatever. I just don't understand that personally. Like, in general, I just don't get everybody's like factuation of like just because a team hasn't been playing well lately, but overall have a good, body of work, especially in this current NFL season. I just think it's crazy to not actually talk about these teams that could win. But here's the difference that I'm so 50-50 with this, Rob, because I just gave the whole argument what I just said. But I could easily see a 4 seed making it to the NFL, the Super Bowl for either side. You know what I mean? Or either 5 or 6.
Yeah, this year it's wide open. Let me ask you this, Ray. as a Bears fan, or just in general, Bears or Eagles, which team would you rather face? Let's just say neutral team, whatever. Who are you more scared of, Niners or Packers? Because that was the match. You know, that was the both teams losing. Would you rather play the Niners or Packers?
Oh, Packers.
You'd rather play the Niners.
No. You said who's more scary. I said Niners, and you said who'd you rather play?
Yeah.
I said Niners, but
Right.
Yeah, Packers.
So we have the now for us, it's a little bit of a weird question because the Bears, you know, that's a divisional game.
Yeah, they have
us
us haunted in our nightmares.
Even beyond like the recent history, it's just like division game, you know, like a division team, like that's the third time playing them. Anything wonky could happen there. So I guess we'll see. I mean, I get your point. The Eagles have the pedigree. Kyle Shanahan's a good coach, though. I know they have the coaching edge. And I know J-Bob, you'd agree with that too. I don't know if that scares you at all, J-Bob, but like Kyle Shanahan. Now I know it's playoff Kyle Shanahan, Ray. It's a little different than regular season Kyle Shanahan. Blake says Jags or Bills. Jags seem like a way better team, but Josh Allen in the playoffs is different level shit. Currently, the Bills are -1.
So break, brother, man, Mark, you're not wrong. Josh Allen does, normally turn it up to a new level. But I'll put it this way: like if I had to put money on it, I would still bet on Josh Allen just because he's won MVPs. He's shown in the playoffs up until Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is not here now, but that Bills team is so inconsistent. It's so weird. The Jags, on the other hand, which I still don't, I really like in my super deep down gut in my core to want to believe in them, but I just can't not. Like they're producing and they're doing what they need to do. Trevor Lawrence is turning it up. Liam Cohen seems to be a great coach there. So honestly, I think the Jags at home, especially depending on the weather, like if it's like pouring rain or something, which they're used to. I mean, I know that the Bills are used to bad weather too, but not necessarily pouring rain compared to snow. But even just in the vacuum, it's just a clear game. They're ready to go. I mean, dude, Trevor Lawrence is playing great right now. Like he's playing the best football of his entire career. So, and that offense is rolling.
He's playing good for anyone. It's not just because he's playing an elite level quarterback. He was probably the best quarterback. Like honestly, you take even over Drake May and over Matt Stafford. Like from week 9 or week 11 on. He's playing perfect football. Like the rushing in the red zone, the not turning the ball over, the clutch third down throw. It did his eye test as well. He's balling.
He's got that awesome,
Parker Washington too.
I was gonna say he's got that literally like that's what I was gonna say. He's got that perfect like cocoon of offensive weapons around him between starting receivers in no particular order of Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington. Then you have Ben Strange and then ETN.
Bretton Strange.
Or Bretton Strange.
You still got a guy like Tim Patrick too. Tim Patrick, who's like a veteran that can he's probably gonna catch a touchdown in this game.
From the Broncos, yeah.
That's a name to know for our fantasy our playoff league.
Playoffs,
Jay, I have a take on this one. He says, I mentioned last night about the Eagles playing to win. I bet they wish they played to win now. I think the Eagles are now, whether it's false hope or false confidence, I think they didn't care because I think that
false confidence. That's all it is.
The point is, if the Eagles are one of these teams where I mentioned that the Seahawks are one of these teams where if they play their best game, they can't be beaten. So it's like it doesn't matter who they play because they're going to have to play the Niners and the Seahawks and the Rams at some points. Now, I personally would have much rather faced the Packers because we saw the Packers' offensive limitations against that Eagles defense in that Sunday night game 5 or 6 weeks back where it was like 10-7 or whatever it was. Like I much prefer facing, if I was the Eagles, facing the Green Bay Packers who are beat to shit right now. But that's my theory. I think they didn't care because they're just like, whatever, we're the Super Bowl champs. If we play our game, honest, dude, it ain't gonna matter.
Honestly, after like watching that full Bears game, I sort of feel like Ben Johnson sort of did the same thing. Like he purposely told Aaron Andrews that I had the most simplistic offensive scheme we've had all year, and we purposely, and he didn't say purposely, but I don't think it was purposely either. But nonetheless, I think it was purpose for him to put in a simplistic game plan, and they fucked it up, and he was pissed off about that. But I was just sort of thinking that like he didn't want to give everything to the Packers to have a fresh, full-blown game plan, They
didn't want to tell him everything, right?
Good, tell me everything.
Okay, they were both here.
They were both inside me. Eduardo was in my mouth and Luther was in my butt.
Oh my God, no, don't tell me everything. What? No, what?
Damn it, Bonnie.
Eduardo who?
Sanchez.
Holy shit, tell us more.
Then Luther went in Eduardo's butt for a while.
Tell us less. Tell us less.
Then they both completed on each other. I was left out of the finale.
I love the fact that when Mac is so into it, he's just like, tell us more. When Luther, tell us less. Tell us less.
Damn
When,
it,
Bonnie. What I'm saying, once he hears his dad's name, Luther, he's like, tell us less.
I got to hear your opinion on this, the Tyler Loop thing. So everyone's blaming Loop. I am not, because it's not an easy field goal, a pressure-packed field goal. Harbaugh, so I broke it down to the people here in the show. So there was 14 seconds left. It was if they didn't do anything, if they kneel it, they lose a yard. They lost 2 yards in the kneel down, but they were essentially on the 26-yard line. Okay. So that is 20. No, they're on the 25-yard line. So it's a 42-yarder at that point. And they choose to kneel it down to make it a 44-yarder. They had 14 seconds and 2 timeouts left. They could have ran 2 Derrick Henry plays and tried to get 6, 7, 8 yards and made that a 36-yarder. Like, I know Henry had the fumbling issues this year, but like, dude, it's Derrick Henry. This is not like Jalen Warren. Like, that's the play, right? Run it and try to get a couple extra yards opposed to taking 2 yards off, like 2 yards longer of a field goal. What is your play there? Because it's not like we were talking about. It's not that you don't have Justin Tucker anymore. You don't have Adam Vinatieri. You don't have fucking, Aubrey. You're not kicking in a dome. This is in Pittsburgh with a rookie kicker. Bad move by Harbaugh. Gross.
I really don't think you want my honest, true opinion about this, but
yeah, I do.
Yeah. No, you don't. You don't, because I already talked about it.
You like the decision?
No, you berated about what I'm gonna say. Bullshit.
Just lay it out to me, brother.
No, I've laid it out to you and you berated me. I'm not laying it out to you again.
I'm drawing a blank.
Rigged bullshit. Boswell missing his only PAT all fucking year to line it up for them to get a game-winning field goal and lose. I mean, like, everything. It was infuriating. Just infuriating.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I didn't want to hear that. That was
we're
talking real football here. We're talking X's and O's. And,
okay.
I mean, there's no evidence here. It's just a bad call by Harbaugh.
Chris Boswell missing his only PAT at home when the game's on the line.
If you notice, man, his kicks were drifting that way, like slowly drifting that way.
You think that has nothing. I'm not saying that the team. I'm saying Boswell got himself.
So they told Boswell to miss it. They also told Luke to miss it.
No, I'm not talking the team. I'm talking whoever they are that runs Vegas, basically. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Weird that when the game's on the line for the playoffs, that he misses his only PAT all year. Yeah, real fucking weird.
Yeah, players never do bad things under pressure. It's never happened in the history of sports. You're right.
Yeah.
Mouth says birds are done. Mouth has been on record saying that the Niners are gonna win the Super Bowl. So I think that's part of his logic there. So obviously, Mouth, it's plus 3.5 right now, bro. So you should lay some coin in your team plus 3.5. That's getting the hook there is nice.
I mean, I'm saying the 49ers is good. I mean, dude, Purdy's been playing great. They got CMC. They're getting healthier. I just with the way they look today, that was rough.
Jay Moore is very hot on the Jaguars going to the Super Bowl. He's trying to figure out who the NFC opponent will be, and that is the question. I mean, dude, both conferences are wide open. Like, if you're saying the Jags are like going to run away with, like, they're the 3 seed, they're also the Jaguars, so it's like that just shows it's wide open because Denver did not look great today.
J-Mar might as well put Eagles and Jaguars then. I'm just saying, like, that's equal. I know the Eagles just won the Super Bowl, but obviously they have their own issues, and Jaguars have their own issues, but they're looking really good. I don't know. I'm just saying, like.
It's a good call, Blake. If there's a time for Josh to do it, it's now with no Lamar, Burrow, or Mahomes to worry about. But the Bills just don't seem like they all around have what it takes to do it. Their coach is also kind of idiot. Now I seem like Storey. I'm just like, their coach sucks. McDermott's not great. It's about, for me, it's Josh Allen's health. If he's healthy, now this week off is nice for him, I feel like. But if he's dealing with like fractures in either his wrist or his ankle or his foot, like that shit doesn't heal in a week. So if Josh Allen's fully healthy or 90% health, I like them as much as I like anyone in the AFC. If he's going to be playing at the level physically that he was in the second half of that Eagles game, when he was not looking to run. He did when he had to. That's the thing, is he's going to do what he has to do. That's why Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. So who do you have in this game? Would you bet, if you had to bet, gun to your head, you're going to take Jags or you're going to take Bills? It's a long pause.
It's because it's a good question. Do you want to just answer you and just be a liar? So my heart would just say to just take the Jaguars. They're at home. They're playing hottest. But my gut would tell me to take the hottest player, or not the hottest, but the best player in the NFL, I think, is Josh Allen.
Yeah, I might give the coaching edge to fucking Liam Cohen, though.
But here's the thing. I'll put it this way. If Josh Allen does not at least make the Super Bowl this year, hot take, he may never make it. Like, this is the time. I understand his team is his weakest that he's had. But if he thinks he's Patrick Mahomes level, well, fucking show up, brother. That's all I'm going to say.
It's an average team. He has an average team with just. By the way, Keon Coleman made an appearance today in a meaningless game, and they made him active. Fucking Keon Coleman. Would you take the Pats or Jags for the title game if that was the matchup? I know you're pretty high on the Pats.
I'm not that high. I mean, I don't. They've never done anything with this current team. So, but both those teams haven't done shit, honestly, with either one of them. To be honest, the Jags have more playoff experience with that particular team of players together than this Patriots team does. But, well, that means the Jags are going into Patriots, and that's gonna be a cold ass game. I would just say I'm saying I'd take the Patriots. Just as a little ground and pound, control the ball, and just take over. Take whatever problems that Trevor Lawrence will decide to cough up in 0-degree weather.
Rams have a really nice path here with the Panthers. Essentially, that's a bye. I mean,
right.
That just it's such an NFC South move where the team loses and still makes the fucking wins the division.
I just want to cut you off real quick. It is across country. That does make a difference. I understand it's playoffs and this and that, but I'm saying going across country, playoffs, but it does make a difference.
I get it. 10-point line though. I just don't think there's any way. Like, also in terms of your little rigging in the conspiracy theorist brain over there, they don't want to see the Panthers in the winning a playoff game. Okay, no one wants to watch Bryce Young in prime time play football. Matt Stafford.
It's funny. I just brought up this one thing, but this entire weekend of games, there's been one game at least that have had 4 at least. Very well. Let's move it along.
If you look for it, you can always find it. You know what I mean? You can always find it. Like if you want to look at, if you have a really awesome partner, you can always look for flaws in that.
You're trying to use that as your logic. I don't have to find it. It's just blaming my face. It's just like I don't have to search it out. It's this pathetic fucking coaching.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
Okay then.
You just take it easy, man.
You know, that's your answer for everything, dude. And let me point out something. Pacifism is not, look at our current situation with that camel fucker in Iraq. Pacifism is not something to hide behind.
Just take it easy, man.
I'm perfectly calm, dude.
Yeah, waving the fucking gun around?
Calmer than you are.
I'm glad you played that because I'm definitely
perfect clip.
Near the dude.
That's the perfect clip. So from now on, whenever Ray is spouting and yelling at me about conspiracy shit, I'm just gonna, especially when I'm wearing the sweater, because I am wearing the sweater today. Perfect timing. I'm gonna play that clip. So Dakota wants to know. By the way, shout out Dakota, most recent.
Yeah, Dakota, thank you for joining the Discord.
Rob, let's discuss the sweater a little bit. What is Ray's opinion on it? Do you like the sweater? Sweater.
Well, yeah, I love Big Lebowski. That's why I literally brought it up, and Rob played it as I was saying. I was like, yeah.
I have the pants too. Erica bought me the whole outfit, and on bowling nights, I used to wear it up there, looking like a total bum. When I didn't shave, I'd have a giant beard, and I just I didn't smoke. I was like right when I stopped smoking weed. I wish I was high. That would have been the complete dude. I like the dude. I like his, he's pretty much a lazy piece of shit. But outside of that, his philosophy on life is pretty optimistic, pretty upbeat. He's pretty chill, Donnie's actually the most chill of all. He has a heart attack just because he's such a pacifist. Well, it's a good call here. Zay Flowers decides to pop off when fantasy is over. Huge game for Zay Flowers, and this is why I love Zay Flowers. Like,
yeah, but that
Zay
safety really
so
blew
elite.
that touchdown. That dude, number 41, is like
completely
just like, oops. There's like Danielle Manning and Reggie Wayne in the Super Bowl, Bears and Colts. When Reggie Wayne,
I saw his PFF grade is 22nd out of like 90 qualifying. I feel like he should be higher because you can't guard that guy. Real quick, you mentioned something. So we gotta give a shout out to our boy for breaking the sack record, Myles Garrett. But can we get a sack champion that has a legitimate sack? Because this was very similar. I went back and watched the Michael Strahan sack on Brett Favre, and I feel like Joe Burrow and Myles Garrett have a similar relationship because they mentioned that Joe Burrow Myles Garrett, his most sacked quarterback is Joe Burrow. He's had some of those like 4 sack games against Joe Burrow. So I feel like there's a mutual respect.
On Sunday Night ESPN Countdown, like before, on their show, they said that when they highlighted that game, that Myles Garrett's most sacked quarterback is Joe Burrow, and he breaks the record with Joe Burrow.
I feel like he was going to get sacked in that play by if it wasn't Myles Garrett, somebody else, but it wasn't like a foregone conclusion. He just gave himself up, bro. And it is what it is,
you know. What's funny is that you want to call conspiracy on this shit and not on actual things that matter with people with money. I thought you're a funny
I'm not
guy,
saying
Rob.
conspiracy. I'm not saying conspiracy. No. I'm not saying conspiracy, right? I'm saying it's just like it's one of those things where they wanted Myles Garrett to get it.
But that guy who lost his record, the sack record, straight up went after Brett Favre for giving Strahan away his record.
Good, as he should. Brett Favre's a turd.
You ever seen that?
No.
There's whoever had the record before Strahan, can't remember his name, but he was in the 80s, early 90s, late 80s. And after his record was breaking by Strahan with that video, that's clearly like Favre was just like,
you know what else I watched, Ray?
Mm-hmm.
I watched the we all forget about this. Myles Garrett, like year 3 of his career, whatever it was, the Mason Rudolph when he tried to
when he ripped his helmet off. Oh yeah,
dude,
great moment.
Like not only that, I never watched the whole play. Like there's a brawl that goes on. It's awesome. It's like a mini Malice in the Palace without pins.
Right.
What a great moment! Like how long did he get suspended for? Like 6 games or half a year? It was pretty long, wasn't it?
It was probably like 4 to 6 games, just because he was a first round or first overall pick.
Yeah,
but that was bad.
Because Erica was
literally just ripping that dude's helmet off one-handed.
Yeah, because Erica's only been playing fantasy 3 years now, and she watches football, but she doesn't have like the knowledge that most people have, like us, guys. And she's like, Myles Garrett seems like such a nice guy. I'm like, yeah, he is, except for when he tried to literally behead Mason Rudolph. She's like, he did what? I was like, I put on the clip. I was like, boop, and yeah, it's pretty wild. It was even more wild than I remember. Jay Moore, Boswell's miss was more shocking than Loop. I agree, because it's his home stadium as well, and it was extra points. Again, they got to get more yards. So Jay says, time for Ravens to move on from Harbaugh. I think so, man. I think we were pretty much stuck in the fact that even if they made the playoffs and they lost in the first round, that he would have been out. He's out. You can see his interviews, dude. He just seems like an old man now. He just kind of like very bland and not energetic.
He will be, what he'll do is he'll go to another team. He'll have more success than Pete Carroll did, because Pete Carroll will be fired. Are you on board with that? I bet he's gone.
Oh, he's already gone, yeah. It's not official, but he's gone. The report is that he's most likely not coming back.
This way, I'm like, wait a minute. I said Raheem Morris gone. I'm like,
yeah, he's gone though.
Are you better than him, Schefter? Just breaking news. Ray doesn't know.
No, I saw a tweet that he's it was an insider for the Raiders said he's most likely not coming back. He'd be shocked if he came back, which that's tea leaves and all
as well. Which is funny because
they got to move on from Harbaugh.
They'll end up paying him as well.
A good spot for him. I don't know if they want to go with another old coach, but maybe the Raiders hire Harbaugh. They have the first overall pick. You know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't be a bad hire. I mean, you could do a lot worse than Harbaugh, any of the Harbaughs.
Honestly,
Jay Moore, thoughts on Ray Davis today? Nuclear, bro. Ray Davis, 150 yards.
Ray
This
Davis
is why I drafted Ray Davis in every league.
I was gonna say, Ray Davis has always been one of the best backup running backs in the entire league. It's just that James Cook is one of the best running backs in the league, and he doesn't get injured this year at least, and last year really. So he does pretty well to make sure not to be injury prone. So that's why Ray Davis sort of sits on the shelf and rots. But if he's smart, he'll just say, "Get me the fuck out of here this upcoming offseason and go to a team that he can start for, at least compete to."
Ray, let me phrase this to you like this. Do you trust, out of the 2-1 seeds, do you trust Seattle or Denver more? Now, you could factor in the conference they're in, all things like that, the quarterback, whatever. Who do you trust more, Seattle or Denver?
Seattle.
I agree. I kind of trust Bo Nix.
Then they have an equally good
defense
and a way better offense. When I say way better,
do you trust McDonald or do you trust Sean Payton more? Because I tend to trust Sean Payton, even though I'm not a big Sean Payton guy.
Hey, well, first off, Eastern Sigma Chi. He's my brother.
That's true. Yeah, he is.
Beyond
He's my
that,
boy, baby.
Hey, by the way, I chugged a Keystone with him. But nonetheless, besides that, in general, if we're talking just playoff coaches, we haven't seen McDonald do his thing in a continuous deep run in the playoffs. So of course, if you're gonna go down that road, like coaching, definitely Sean Payton. But Mike McDonald, man, he's been proving me wrong a lot. Honestly, I just never think much of him and his team over the years. Over the last 2 years, and I mean I do, but it's just it's sort of an afterthought because of him as a coach. That defense is a top 3 defense. It's for sure top 5. And if Sam Darnold can just be an average quarterback, that offense is a top 5 offense with their weapons. So
I have not seen Denver run away with a game all season. Even this game, when you had Trey Lance starting and a bunch of backups for the Chargers, they didn't even run away with this game. Trey Lance is fucking awful, dude.
They haven't had one Bears against the who did they kill early? The Bears.
Well, they got killed by the Lions early, but games like that, there's no trouncings, no walkaway victories. Jay Moore, can someone please tell me what happened to a Big Boo? Does he even exist anymore? Or what's going on? This is kind of a loaded question. I'll say this. He doesn't play a lot. They've scaled back his snaps a lot since Godwin got healthy, and then it was mostly the emergence of Jalen McMillan coming back. I feel like they like his pop he offers downfield more than a Big Boo because he can't jump. It's a big.
And you got to give credit to this rookie sensation wide receiver out of Ohio State, Emeka Egbegbue. Emeka Egbegbue. Emeka Egbegbue.
I really think that injury to his hamstring or his hammy, whatever it was, that it's lingered, man, this long, which is crazy to think. But you know what? I'll buy low on him next year. So,
yeah, dude, it might be really low because think about it. If Mike Evans comes back, which I think he probably will, Chris Godwin they signed to a pretty big contract last year, so he's gonna be back. They like McMillan. Cade Otton is a stud there. They have multiple running backs they use. Like if he's like one of these 4 guys rotating in and out, he's going to be like a 9th round pick. He'll be cheaper than he was this year. But I don't know what the upside is if the room gets hurt again. That's the upside. But if everyone's healthy, he's not a target earner. He has proven that he's not a target earner, which Storey loves to throw out there because he's not earning any targets. He's not playing that much. And he doesn't look that great. So yeah, 9th round, probably worth a shot, but he's a bench receiver.
So I guess
more Panthers beat Rams. Go ahead.
What do you think it would matter if Rachaad White leaves just to help Emeka Begbue's value for next year? Because it sounds like White will be gone.
Yeah, but White's gone. White's definitely gone.
I'm just saying.
I think it'll help his value a little bit.
I'm saying that's just
but it's not enough to fucking really move the needle because the player did not impress me. I mean, even early on, some of those touchdowns were just awesome Baker throws and broken coverages. I didn't have any wow moments where I was like, damn it, Big Boo's the truth. You know what I mean? He just looked like a professional, which you know how many professional
because I had him in our balls deeply. He didn't want him to be the truth. So he's just like, I had
5 shares of Ibuka, dude. I had 5 shares of him. Jay Moore, Panthers beat Rams once this year. Rams should dominate this time around. And let's not forget that game was a really, really goofy game. A lot of rain in that game. And not to make excuses, but like that would give the Panthers an edge, right? Any kind of like extra elements, especially element that is the weather, gives the worst team an edge in the game. And I don't see that happening.
Is there no rain? Is there no rain coming from this game since they're at home?
Oh, it's a week out. It's still going to be in Carolina, so it's not going to be in a dome.
I just said it. They're at home, so there could be more rain again. That's all I'm saying.
JC sees Seattle versus Jag Super Bowl. That'd be a good one. UNC says Rams, Devontae Adams out, and Kyron Williams questionable for the game. Honestly, I think Panthers can win. Well, Devontae Adams is playing. Like he could have played. I think Devontae Adams could have played Week 17. You see him in the pregame, like they just kept him out.
He was running full sprints. He was running full sprints.
And the Kyron thing for this game doesn't really matter because I don't know if he's questionable. He's fine too, yeah. But even if he wasn't, they don't need him. They have Blake Corum. Like they'd be fine. It's about can Matt Stafford like hold on to the ball and not turn the ball over. So, Jay Moore, this would have been a boring week of football with fantasy. And I just gotta say this real quick. I had some people on the chat like defending Week 18, like for championship, because like it's a level
so bad. Why would you ever defend?
Think about what happened today. All right, Josh Allen plays one snap, and then to keep his start thing going. You see Devonta Smith getting 1,000 yards in the second quarter, and they pull him. Like things like that, dude. We cannot be having because there's already so many injury issues. You know, guys leaving games early with injuries, and just fantasy is so random already to have to worry about like playing time.
Listen, we're lucky that they made division games week 17 and 18 or 16, 17, 18, depending on like not all three games, but for the majority of all the divisions from week 16 to 18, they're all division games for most leagues, most teams. So like,
yeah,
if you're not, I don't know, I'm with you. Like that's so fucking stupid. Like I did that once.
Week 17 is getting to that point. Week 17 is getting to that point, Ray.
Oh, not really. I didn't
think because it used to be week 16, right? When week 17 was the last week. Now you're adding an extra week.
Didn't play because of a game script. Just saying. If you want to call that
Mark Gastineau is the guy's name that was the sack leader before. That went out.
Yeah. Mark, thank you. Yeah, good job, Brick. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, dude. I'll send you the clip. He literally it was at some like comic, not Comic-Con, but like a athletic Comic-Con per se, like signing whatever. And this dude, I don't know if he was drunk, but I think he might have been, but most likely not because he was just that much pissed off at Favre. He just fucking hated him, and he just berated him. He was like, "You let him sack you to can't break my record. You owe me my record." And Favre's just like,
yeah, Favre's got some brain damage. All right, I'm going to hit you guys with the intro. We're going to get back to all the questions after this. All right, Ray. I see you're munching on some food there, so we gotta get the report, man. Ooh, what are those? Is that pork?
This is ground beef with some onion, cilantro, cheese, sour cream, and Melinda's.
Ooh, I noticed that you like hard shell tacos, huh?
I do. It's just because I like crunchy. But the problem is, of course, with our program, if I don't eat them within 30 minutes, then that's why I've actually come to realize doing this with you. I used to put the meat on the bottom, but because the meat with the grease just soaks through and just like when you get Taco Bell, hard shell tacos. Yeah. I've now been putting the cheese on the bottom.
Insulated, right?
Yeah, I mean, it still will eventually leak through, but it at least gives you a little more wiggle room.
All right, Jay Moore, prime Jamal Charles, or Bijan fantasy wise. It's got to be Jamal Charles because he had a bigger body of work right now, and we've only seen one. We haven't even seen the full Bijan Unleashed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would still say it's Bijan because and mind you, when I say this, I had Jamal Charles during his I think it was a 6-year run, 5-year run that he was.
Yeah,
I think it was
yeah,
6.
six years.
Yeah, 6. I think it was about 6. I had him about 2 years, and especially like not in the beginning. I had him during his like prime. And I think my first year that I won fantasy ever, I had him. So I have a special place in my heart for him, but I'm still going to say Bijan only because Bijan is more well put together. The dude doesn't miss games. Jamal Charles did miss games, and Jamal was definitely more elusive. Bijan's more powerful. They might have equally had good enough hands. But Bijan wasn't. It was say if Jamal Charles in a Madden was a 99 juke elusiveness, Bijan would be like a 90 or like let's say just compared to Jamal, maybe like an 87, 88. So it's like,
yeah, Bijan is a better fantasy back if he had the work and was in a better offense.
Correct.
Like he has the better tools, better receiver, better between the tackles.
If Jamal Charles was with Patrick Mahomes, basically if he was the running back instead of Kareem Hunt those years when they first broke out with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. God, sorry. But I'm saying like if it was Mahomes, Hill, Kelce, Jamal Charles.
Yeah, Jamal Charles. He averaged 9 yards per carry. Exactly. UNC, I believe that's what Myles Garrett did say. There were some racial slurs. That's why he went after Mason Rudolph. That's not like confirmed. You know what I mean? Obviously, like DK Metcalf said the same thing about the fan. That seemed to be untrue as well. So like that's an easy thing to use a crutch. Like, we don't know. It makes sense that he did. He probably did.
That was just such an extreme thing for him to pull out of nowhere. Because dude, Myles Garrett never really has done anything like that. I mean, did he do anything like that in college? Right. I'm asking, did he do it in college?
No,
I don't think he did.
Here's why I have a hard time believing this. Right? Have you seen Myles Garrett, the human being?
Oh,
and have you seen Mason Rudolph, the human being? Like Mason Rudolph's a big guy in real life. What is he, 6'2", 220? Myles Garrett is like literally
he's
like
6'3".
He's an Avengers guy. He should be in the cast of Avengers.
6'5",
like, you don't
280.
fuck with that guy, bro.
Right.
and chiseled. Like that's
yeah,
like,
right.
He's LeBron
bro.
James of the NFL.
Not a 6-pack.
280, bro. Holy shit.
Oh, he's probably bigger than that. He might be 285. But he's definitely 6'5", and I think he's 280, 285, 280, 290. Like, so let's say like if he needs to literally be buffed up, he probably weighs in at 280 with chiseled, and then he goes to Thanksgiving dinner and weighs in, he's at 290. And that's just like a little bump on his
just a little bubble. I don't see the Broncos going anywhere despite home field. Thoughts? We're pretty much going anywhere is a relative term. I don't see them going to the Super Bowl. I guess I'll say.
No. But he says don't. He said don't. He doesn't see them going anywhere. Jay Moore, here's the problem, dude. You may not believe in the team. You need to understand, and I'm sure you do, Jay Moore, but you need to really take more into consideration of being up in the mountains. That matters. Literally, it does. Like, people don't really want to make this a big deal, but I'm sorry. That's why the Nuggets. I mean, there's a reason because they have Jokic, who's at this point going to be a top 5 player of all time. He continues what he's doing. Rob, am I wrong? Like, he was probably a top 10 guy at this point. So it's like him with the rest of the team. It's just an advantage when you come up into the mountains and your lungs and your body is not used to high altitude things. And
it's one of the few actual like palatable home field advantages where like you could pin it on something, right? Opposed to the crowd noise, which is awesome in Seattle. Like they have that as well as a physical advantage over their opponents. Did Henry claim the rushing title? No, he did not. So he had, I think he needed 41 yards in the second half. He didn't get it. So that's a shame. He deserves it. They went away from him again. So
who got it?
What's going on, Rod? Go Rams. Go Rams. Jay, this is for you, Ray. Thoughts on the Bears as underdogs at home on Saturday? I don't know favored.
No, Bandit.
It's a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em.
No, well, here's the thing. So we're a Sunday. I think Friday or Thursday, when it basically was understood the outcomes of what the Bears, playoff schedule would be. Not playoff schedule, but to get to the playoffs and who they play was laid out. There's a Bear, I think it's at Bears Empire on Instagram, and he put out a thing that showed when all the possible outcomes for the Bears playoff games be released, that the Bears were an underdog for all three outcomes, which was against Seattle, Packers, and Rams. I'm saying that was a couple, like 3 or 4 days ago. And it's just a continuous, the Bears are just disrespected. People don't believe in Caleb Williams. They don't believe, they do believe in Caleb Williams. They just don't believe in the Bears offense in literally the first half of the game, which I don't disagree because I watch them and I get frustrated. And it's like, and then all of a sudden, like today, what the fuck was going on? And then that last fucking, the second, literally the fourth quarter comes around and it's like, and then
our run game has not looked very, very sharp. Granny has not been spry.
I feel like as much. Like not.
I will say this:
pounding in.
Colson Loveland. I'm taking the L. Taking the L on Colson Loveland. I'm taking the L on that
one. Thank you. I'm glad you're willing to do that. No, I'm saying, but
I'm always willing to take the L.
Plenty of our friends are doing it in our group chats, but I was the one trying to tell you guys, hey, I don't know much. I mean, I know that like he's talented, but people want Tyler Warren, and I get that. But Rob, you and I in reality, and all of us who watch, and anybody who watches any podcaster who's not actually being paid by an NFL team to do research for themselves, in reality, it's just all our own opinion. So when I heard that when the Bears, before the Bears drafted Colson Loveland, there were mega calls to trade up to that Bears pick. Nobody knew who before the Bears picked. But then once the Bears picked Colson Loveland, those calls went cold. Nobody.
No, I get that, but that doesn't prove it's a right pick. Now, it proves that it was a good spot.
I don't give a shit what you're saying.
Prove he's a good player.
Let me finish.
When I heard
those things, that means that there were many NFL teams who wanted that guy. And I'm just saying, when we watch the pundits like, Mel Kiper and all these guys, like, I would have had Tyler Warren over him, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, that's fine. Like, I get that. I don't watch college football that much. Like, I watch more highlights and all this shit. I don't watch it religiously like these guys do. But when I heard that NFL GMs stopped calling to move up, that meant they wanted one guy, and that was Colson Loveland. And it's now proving to be right. So I'm just saying, it's people, all of us, all of our generations that are watching, unless they're our parents' age, we want instant gratification. So a guy who's drafted top 10 is not an instant fucking badass. People said he sucks, he blows, this and that. It's like, have a little bit of patience. Just a little bit. No, there's no patience among Chicago fans in general.
No, just fans in general. It's a societal thing. I understand that.
I know.
I'm just going to tell you, I could put it to you in 2 sentences. He's very, 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 very tough at the catch point. Like one of the toughest players I've seen at the catch point. One drop all year.
His hands
he's getting his targets are essentially through traffic in linebackers, dude. It's real impressive. So
I'm saying, like, I feel like what I'm doing there. No, I'm saying, like, those. I'm saying that's where his hands are like
taking the L.
I mean, I have small hands.
He's a monster.
Like, he's got those.
He's a monster. I didn't see it in the film in college, man. And Tyler Warren's film in college, he was such a Swiss Army knife. And I was wrong. I'll take the L. Jay Moore, thoughts on Justin Jefferson? He balled out today, guys. Finally. Again, just in time for the fantasy season not to count anymore.
That's one last thing. I'm just impressed with Loveland's blocking. I did not expect his blocking to be as good as it was. But with Justin Jefferson, I wouldn't be shocked if he might just go full-blown, like, diva to get the fuck out of Minnesota. I mean,
I don't think so. He likes Kevin O'Connell.
And he's not a TO. He's not like that.
No, he's a good guy. And you saw how happy he was when they were, he was obviously had a good game today, but he's kept a smile on his face all year. And then the Harrison Smith retirement, how he was just, dude, he's a Viking. You know what I mean? Like, and Vikings it's not exactly a luxurious city to live in. No one wants to live there. It's not like LA or anything.
Good football town. But as Bears fans, the NFC being the Midwest, so especially NFC North, if you're a Vikings fan, it's like that's everything. You're a Packers fan, that's everything. You're a Bears fan, that's everything. You're a Detroit Lions fan, that's everything. Like for football wise, at least, you know what I mean. Like with the Lions up in Michigan, you got Michigan football. That's a completely different thing than where you and I are at. We got Northwestern and Illinois. You know what I mean? Like nothing to like
UNC,
really like.
Are you saying that you played the championship this week, week 18? Is that what you're saying? Because he did okay.
Yeah,
Or no, week 17. Well, week 17, he did even worse against the Vikings. That was even worse. He did bad today too, technically for fantasy. Don't play leagues that are week 18. Just don't do it. Like I wouldn't even do it. I don't care if I was playing against amateurs. No way, dude. I'm not risking that shit. It's stupid. Jay Moore, what will Jefferson's ADP be? I would say 3rd round. Let's go into the assumption that it's J.J. McCarthy, who has looked better towards the end of the year. I'm going to preface it with that. He has looked serviceable, which makes sense, right? He's inexperienced quarterback, not a lot of reps, even in college when he was handing the ball off 35 times a game to Blake Corum. 3rd round, I think early 3rd round, like at the 2-3 turn. I think I would, and I would like him there.
Blake Corum was there. That was so I'm saying it was Blake Corum, J.J. McCarthy, Colson Loveland, like
stacked team. Now let's put this into perspective here. This 2025, who was going at the 2-3 turn was guys like AJ Brown, Ladd McConkey, and Jackson Smith and Jigba were the 3 wide receivers that were going at the 2-3 turn from pick 21 to pick 28. Those were about the 3. So I would feel pretty comfortable taking Justin Jefferson there. Thoughts?
At this point, to be honest, I feel as if that depending what they do with that quarterback position, Justin Jefferson was a very comfortable. It's a 12-man league, top 7 for sure, maybe top 8 for sure. People now at this point really regret that, but to be honest, I'm going to be a very buy high guy with him. Because, Rob and I have talked about many times. Now, Rob, when I say this, just tell me if I'm wrong. But you and I have talked about many times. This guy is a all-time talent. Okay, like it's not just
the all-time talent. Honestly, like he's one of the top 5 all-time talents.
So what I'm saying is, me and Rob agree that it's like we understand that he had a really bad down year because there were many bad factors that he had nothing to do with. Let's just put it this way, from what I've heard, that the Vikings are going to do everything they can to get like good quarterback play in there. Because J.J. McCarthy is going to be fighting for a starting position from what I've read, which he should. Honestly, like if you guys can draft J.J. McCarthy next year, I'm sorry, Justin Jefferson next year, and to be honest, if it's a 12-man league, I might draft him late 2nd, high 3rd. And if it's a 10-man, I might go late 3rd, high 4th. I believe in him. Like the guy's talent is unbelievable. And I just think that they're going to do what they need to do to get a quarterback in there because they understand that they have the worst quarterback position in the whole NFC North. And it's not close.
That's the key, is getting another quarterback in there, because then it's going to work either way. Either J.J. McCarthy takes a step up, earns the starting job, and keeps the starting job, or you're going to have someone, a Jacoby Brissett, if you will, someone like that, that's going to be enough to keep him afloat. Because this year it was Carson Wentz. Actually, he had his best performances with Carson Wentz, which says a lot, because Carson Wentz was playing hurt the whole year, and he's terrible. But that shows how bad the quarterback play was.
I just want to give Carson Wentz a little bit of flowers for himself, because he was the reason that Eagles team won the Super Bowl. When I say that, I know it's not truly the reason because he was hurt, but he was the MVP candidate until he was hurt. And then Nick Foles came in and Big Nick Dick was born. I just feel like that Carson Wentz was, but I'm saying Carson Wentz is a complete afterthought of that entire team. And I feel bad for the guy because like he was an MVP candidate. He got hurt and Big Dick Nick just came in and did business.
Marshall Faulk, awesome all-time fantasy player. He was the original PPR back. The problem was when people had Marshall Faulk, there was no such thing as PPR. It was typically standard. He was still good. Todd Gurley, though, why Todd Gurley had the most epic seasons is because Todd Gurley dominated in the fantasy playoffs those seasons.
You're a funny
Dominated.
guy. You're a really funny guy. So let me just make this real easy. Todd Gurley has the most total touchdowns still since I read a thing. I think it was still like he's been out of the league for a long time now. He still has the most total touchdowns since like I think it said like 2014, 15, something like that. Currently, right now, most total touchdowns, and he hasn't played in how many years? But I just laughed at that.
But it was a shorter lived thing, though.
I get that. Marshall Faulk is the ultimate running back. Like,
yeah,
he's better than any running back now. Like every running, Bijan literally says that he emulates his game to try to be Marshall Faulk. I just have, I mean, of course, as a Bears fan, I always have my heart for Walter Payton. Because Walter Payton did
the original was Roger Craig. Roger Craig of those Niners teams, the 84, 85,
right,
those Niners teams. He was the original like West Coast all-purpose do-it-all running back. Marshall Faulk came in. But why Todd Gurley is an all-time fantasy legend, yes, Marshall Faulk and LT and, Adrian Peterson, they all had awesome fantasy careers, CMC as well. But the 2 years Todd Gurley had where they were all-time, essentially what CMC did this year, right, the RB1, he had the best 2 fantasy postseason runs. It was he scored the 1 year he had 96 points in the semifinal and final combined in PPR, which means he got you there and he won. He single-handedly won you the championship. That's the difference. It's like some of these guys, like CMC had a pretty bad not a bad. He didn't have a Bijan level fantasy postseason this year. It was good. But Todd Gurley had MVP regular season, MVP postseason 2 years in a row.
All I know
that's why Todd Gurley is the Hall of Fame.
Put the real respect on the best fantasy player of all time. There's not even close. You know it. I've brought it up before. Put the name on it. Put the names. The best fantasy player of all time is Jerry Rice.
LT? But there's not a lot of people played fantasy back then. That's the problem.
I don't give a shit. It's like guaranteed. He's the best fantasy player of all time. Just look up his fucking numbers.
He's the best player all time.
Oh, you know what, Rob? I appreciate you saying that because I bring that up to people and I get laughed at about that. I'm like, no, like they just brought up. Oh God, they had receiving touchdowns for. Did you see that thing? It was for Greg Kittle. George Kittle, I'm sorry. It was, George Kittle. It was I think it was receptions all time for the 49ers. He today took over T.O. and he had like 500. It would say T.O. had like 592. He had 593. And Jared Rice had 1,290 something or 1,280 something, whatever fucking number it was. It was over 1,200. It's like, Jesus Christ.
PZ says CMC won me a league this year. Yeah, no, CMC owners won a lot of leagues this year. What I'm saying is Todd Gurley, like I think
Todd Gurley is one of the best fantasy players of all time. It's not even close. Like he's literally.
No, I'm saying
he's on the Mount Rushmore of greatest fantasy players of all time.
I'm trying to finish my point. I'm
sorry.
CMC did lead to a lot of championships this year, but if you had Todd Gurley in those 2 years, you almost guaranteed the victory because he was scoring 50 points and 48 points in the championship weeks. Like so, I had 9 championship teams this year, and I beat CMC 3 times. Because he scored like 28 points or whatever, which is, if that was Todd Gurley, you can't really overcome a 50 burger. It's really tough to overcome a 50 burger. So that's why the Todd Gurley years was just all time. Because he did his best when it mattered the most. And on top of that, he scored 24 touchdowns in the season. Like that's unreal stuff. And, he's still only like 30 years old. And he's out of the league. He's been out of the league for 3 years. I forgot this question here. We'll be targeting Level next season. How was his stats compared to Warren? Warren still had better stats because he had more catches and he was more involved early in the year. Don't forget, Loveland was coming off an injury in the preseason and OTAs, so he started slow. And he had Cole Kmet there, and Cole Kmet might still be there. Tyler Warren had like Mo Alley Cox and like not a lot to deal with there, and they had a better offense at least to start the year. So, where are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with him next year if Cole Kmet's there? If he goes tight end 6, because I think that's too high for me.
So, Jay Moore, here's the thing is what you need to understand is that literally the entirety of the NFL draft, I'm talking like literally the entirety of the history of the NFL draft, tight ends have been notoriously one of the slowest positions to develop. Whether you want to believe that or not, I don't give a shit. Like, that's just the fucking facts. Now, I know I'm talking history. Now, lately, in the past 5 years, that is heavily changed for good reason. Because when Rob and I were growing up, great tight ends would turn up because they were failed athletes in other sports. Not every tight end, but I'm just saying, like, for instance, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Jimmy Graham, 3 Hall of Fame tight ends were all basketball players that failed in their sport, but moved and became Hall of Famers in their own respect for football. But basically what I'm getting at with this is that Warren was and is very talented, but he's more of a I'd compare him more of a now, Rob, tell me if I'm wrong, a more athletic Jason Witten, if that makes sense. A more athletic.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell Tyler Warren is because they were using him terrible.
Okay, well, just take a second. Think how good Jason Witten was. Okay,
yeah,
I'm not I'm not trying to berate the guy or tell him he's bad. This is like, I think he's a more
steady, solid fucking.
No, not even that. Like,
all
I'm
around
saying Jason Witten could block. This guy can block, but he's more athletic than Jason Witten was. So I think that's a good comparison in my eyes. What I'm getting with Colston Loveland is that he's more of like a Jimmy Graham, like, built. But Jimmy Graham couldn't block worth of shit because he didn't want to. And if you guys have watched Colston Loveland at all, the dude wants to block. He likes to block. Like, I shouldn't like, but he does and is willing to block. And so what I'm getting at also is that I didn't know that about him when the Bears drafted him. I thought he was just a, inline, tight end that, basically like Aaron Hernandez without the murder and way shorter or way taller. But I'm just saying, like, that type of tight end who's just all about offense. Well, there have been many runs that our running backs have had because of key blocks that Colston Loveland has, had them to break off good runs. So I'm going to say that I would say that in general, Jay Moore, if you really like, I'm going to be targeting Loveland as well next year. But honestly, depending, I don't know, Jay Moore, I can't remember where you live, but either way, it doesn't matter. We'll just say you live in Texas and you're talking about Loveland or Warren, like, local people talking about that. It will still probably be Loveland, especially depending. I'll preface it this: depending what happens in the playoffs. If Loveland has a game like he did today or against the Bengals, he'll almost be guaranteed to be drafted top 5, top 3. I think that's too high. I'd rather draft Warren top 3, top 5. But I do believe that Loveland is really an ascending talent, and it's actually impressive. I'm surprised. Like, he's very impressive. He's a tiny dancer.
All right. Bears are plus 1.5 on DK. I still see -1. I didn't look at DraftKings though. UNC, this is more of a Mike Storey question because I don't know who Kenyon Sadiq is. Panthers definitely need a tight end. Jatavian Sanders is not the answer. And I like Tommy Tremble, but he is a tight end too on a team. So not good enough there. But I don't know if I think you could sign somebody. You don't want to take on a project at tight end because they're generally all projects, like Ray said. Loveland is a beast. Will the Jags trade Brian Thomas? They can't do that. And you're going to get way less value than what you deserve. I wouldn't.
How long did they draft? 2 years ago? Here we go, year 3? No way. Maybe after year 4, like I'm saying, like after year 4, and he'd have to pick up his option, and like he still has a decent rapport. They might at that point trade him, but right now, no way, no way.
Shout out to Harvey too. He was pretty goddamn good in the playoffs. It wasn't like a league winner, but where you drafted him, borderline, because he was getting you borderline RB1 numbers, RB2 numbers, where you got him pretty solid. JD got to the championship in 2 out of my 3 leagues and lost both games. Still making money though. Still making money.
Let's say, like, at least you didn't have to pay any money to play. So,
Okay, got a shout out to the Patreon bros. Newest Patreon bro is who is it? God damn it, I can't see my screen. Jonathan M. Jonathan M. You're the shit. Appreciate you. Same with you, Zach L, who just upgraded. That's MVP. If you want to hop in, if you want to support your boys here, never been a better time because all the rates are going to go up next year just based on our this year crushing fantasy, crushing the bets. We 2-1 this week. I had a light week of gambling. Lamar's rushing yards. That was a bad play on my end. But access to the Discord community fantasy leagues. We still need one spot for the NFL postseason league we're doing. One spot open. You have till tomorrow to sign up. Otherwise, Ray and Chaz are going to have their own teams, and we'll still have 10 teams. So also guest appearances on the show. I like to have at least one fan on every couple of weeks. Free merchandise giveaways. You like this hat we're wearing? And we're going to get some meat sweat shirts. Going to have a bunch of good shit coming out here soon this offseason. So one of these every month I give away, fellas. And you get access to the bets. 80. So now we're 86 and 51. We went 2-1 this week. Is that right? 86 and 51. Yep, 86 and 51. So those are all even odds bets. So why not hop in? professionalfanatics.com. or link in the description if you're interested. Here is Helen Hunt. Say hello to Helen. Hi, Helen. Looking great today, Helen. You're looking fucking awesome. You're awesome, Helen. Let's see. We are here. You drafting Pitts next year if Kirk Cousins isn't the starter? I'm not drafting Pitts next year because he's going to go like tight end 4, and I'm not on board with that. The quarterback, definitely not with Drake with Michael Penix. Michael Penix isn't going to be ready for the start of the next year. We have no idea what they're doing there in Atlanta at quarterback because it can't be Penix start the year. It's probably not going to be Kirk Cousins if they want any chance of winning because he's done. By the way, Raheem Morris is finally axed, so that's awesome. See you later, Raheem. You bum.
See ya.
They still gave up the 8th pick. I think it's the 8th pick that they are giving to the Rams. That's pretty nice for the Rams. Sadiq is the Oregon tight end. He's a freak. That is the tight end that he was saying that the Panthers should draft. So I got to look into him. I haven't looked at tight ends yet, Blake. We got Cry Dog in here, won my league. Congratulations, my dude. I was once in that league. I resurrected the league, Cry Dog, and you guys booted me out of it. I went 2 in a row. I went 2-0, and they booted me out of it.
Yeah, you're fucking turd. You cheat.
No, I just know how to draft good players.
I rated him, boys.
Oracle. Jay Moore, how is David Johnson's fantasy career? Fleeting. I'd say the word fleeting. It was epic.
He was a
2 years.
A 3-year stud, 2-year stud, like 2 super year stud. 2 super year, 1 third. Like, I mean, am I wrong? Was it a 3rd year that was like pretty good, and that was it?
No, he was the first year he came out of nowhere, and he was like undrafted in terms of fantasy.
Correct. Yeah,
He was like an RB, borderline RB1. The next year he was like a 5th round pick, and he was the RB1 in fantasy, and then he was drafted as the 1st overall pick, and then he tore out his knee, and then he was never the same.
Oh, you know what? I drafted him that year.
I bet you did. Yeah. Let's see. We got a keeper question here. Keep 2 for next year's standard scoring: Henry, Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, London. Standard scoring: Jamar Chase for sure is going to get kept, and then it comes down to Chase Brown and Derrick Henry. So if everything stays status quo in Baltimore, as in Lamar comes back and Derrick Henry's back, and they don't bring in like any threat to him in the backfield, in standard I'm gonna go Henry just because of touchdowns. You're gonna go Chase Brown or you're gonna go Henry?
I'm just giving that look for what you gave me before this. But yeah, no, I'm agreeing with him. He's not wrong. It's Jamar Chase, and especially with a brand new season next year, he'll kill it. And Henry, he just turned 32 today. They're going to run him into the ground. I think Henry will stick around until around 35. He may not put up like all the years that he's put up lately, but I still do think that I think Henry will end up still having the next at least 2 more good years. Maybe not a
I mean, he looks great. He looks great. He looks as good as he's ever looked.
Okay, well, Rob, how about this?
This game, dominating.
How about this? You guarantee me that you draft in every league that you're in with me. You draft Henry first round. Okay. He's so good. I'm saying that's
no. I won't be doing that. I'm not doing that. The reason I said to keep him because this is a standard league. I don't play standard leagues. Like Derrick Henry offers nothing in PPR.
I'm not talking about Bandit. I agree with you. I said what I said with Bandit. I'm talking about you, my friend.
Derrick Henry will probably be a value next year because he'll be a 3rd round pick. You know what I mean? He slowly is getting moved down. So I might take him there. I mean, at that point,
I'm just brand Rob. I'm with Rob though. I think it's pretty easy. I think it's Henry and I shouldn't say super easy because Case Brown has been very good, but I would do Jamar Chase and Derrick Henry.
UNC makes a pretty. I like this point here. The offseason, Dolphins need to pick up Anthony Richardson. That would be a perfect spot for him. That would be a good spot for him because they're in full rebuild mode. I anticipate them trading Jalen Waddle, and they're going to cut Tua, and that Tua cap hit is massive, dude. So they're going to be in a really rough spot for 2 years based on the cap, and then their overall talent on the roster. Like they have Bradley Chubb, who's ancient. Like they have Minka Fitzpatrick. Like they have nothing there of any substance, and their offensive line's bad. Like literally they have A-Chain. That's it. So that's a great face. So Anthony Richardson's perfect. Just let him, also you tank. You let Anthony Richardson get some on-the-job experience, and you tank because with Anthony Richardson, you will lose 14 games his next year.
Oh my God, I can't hold it in. He sucks. He sucks so bad. He can't have no accuracy. He sucks. Oh my God. But you know what?
Anthony Richardson?
But if the Dolphins are willing, which if they were to do that, would be the perfect situation to bring in Mike McDaniel, bring him back, bring in Anthony Richardson. We'll assume that Tyreek Hill won't be back, and if he is, trade him away. I'm saying just at this point, go full fucking retard for the first overall pick in 2027 and be done with it. Because I was doing that because I really don't believe in Anthony Richardson. The guy has no accuracy. Like he's just like he's worthy to stay in the league as like a backup, but he's good enough to be a good bridge guy for a team that wants to tank. And that's where what I said, because bringing back McDaniel, bringing Richardson, just letting it roll.
Josh Allen also had really bad accuracy at this stage of his career as well. Not as bad as Anthony Richardson, but pretty bad. I'm just saying Anthony Richardson is perfect for the situation because you go full tank mode. You bring in a guy that could be the guy. It's a low percent chance, 10, 20% chance. But if he is the guy, he offers immense upside. If it works, then you're a 500 team, whatever, and he's your guy, and you have him for nothing. If it doesn't work, then you're the Jets this year, and you get the number 1 or number 2 pick. So it's a win-win to get Anthony Richardson because it doesn't cost you anything.
You know what's
That's
funny
why you
is
got to
that
do it.
I truly think that if they were to do this exact situation and go 500, that would prove to them they have a good team. Their quarterback sucks. That's just my opinion.
Tua is such a net negative. It's
no shit. I completely believe the same thing with this guy. Net negative.
I remember LT wrecking leagues. I also remember, I think it was multiple games. He threw for a touchdown, rushed for a touchdown, and caught a touchdown. That's Taysom Hill level shit, but he did that.
Hey, Rob, Ray remembers when LT was doing cocaine and taking out quarterbacks left and right. I mean, which LT are we talking about here?
Both LTs were all timers. I love the clip from Waterboy, which is like, reminds me, don't smoke crack. Dakota Packers are 1.5 point favorites for Saturday night. You guys gonna be a Soldier Field?
Have you heard that whole his thing about him? Like when I say him, LT on the Giants, who's a huge cokehead, he showed up halfway through games sometimes because he was just it was one game. He said that he got fucked up one night, thought the game was at 3, it was at noon. He showed up at halftime. Most teams would tell the player to go fuck themselves. He, or Parcells and company were like, "You fucker, get your ass out there!" And he got 2 sacks.
High as fuck, high as a kite. We're not going to the game, Dakota. That's going to be a very pricey ticket because it's Bears.
No, I'm buying Robert. I'm buying. Okay. I was already going to buy
me a ticket
for you. I was until you said we're not going.
$800? $1,000?
I was until you just said I'm not going. So
All right.
Well, I mean,
I'll go.
you know,
If you want to buy me a ticket, I'll go.
I had a nice surprise for you until you just had to do these things. You know, you gotta talk so early, talk so squirrely.
You're not going. I'm gonna watch it from the comfort of my own couch with the IPA in my hand.
Might be going. I have friends already that are doing things that I'm not happy about, but my God.
Trone doesn't think any of the AFC teams are scary. Pats are meh. Bo Nix stinks. Stroud is not good. Pittsburgh only has GK. Josh Allen, the Bills have been terrible. Yeah, I mean they all have their warts, but there's besides take away the Steelers out of this conversation.
Can you please explain to me what the fuck was up? But I mean, when they did this, they won, so I don't disagree. But like, again, when I say this, you probably have the easy answer. I didn't watch the game, but why was CJ Stroud out and David Mills in, and they ended up winning the game? David Mills, that is
because the Jags essentially were up by 30 points and they couldn't win their division.
But David Mills still came in and did better than CJ Stroud, is what I'm getting at.
He didn't do better because Davis Mills at one point was 0 for 7 in that game. He was 0 for 7. So I don't think he did better. Maybe the end of the numbers look better. I mean, come on. No, they also didn't play Nico Collins in this game. They didn't need to do that to win the game, and they didn't care about the seeding as much. They'd rather go to the playoffs healthy.
See, and that's fine, but then they're also retarded. Why are they playing their franchise quarterback and not their franchise receiver? When I say this, he is a franchise receiver, but it's like, are you guys mental? Like, sorry, I mean, Rob, am I idiot to say that? Like, why?
It's because Nico's been dealing with a hamstring injury, soft tissue stuff. That's why, and also DeMeco Ryans is sometimes a little simple.
Simple Jack, the story of a mentally impaired farmhand who can talk to animals, was a box office disaster that many critics called one of the worst movies of all time.
Got a good brain.
I think you've got a fine brain, Jack.
You make me happy.
But now the question is, can speed...
Who is projected to be the number one
now the
fantasy
question
next
is,
season?
She just looks past him and she says them, and she's like, hey, bye now, the real question. And she's like, yeah.
The answer is Puka Nacua, CMC, probably those two, or Bijan. I think it's, or Gibbs if there's no David Montgomery there. Those are the top four.
I think those are the four, yeah. And that's if you didn't say
JSN
Gibbs,
being 5.
There will be JSN will go first overall, especially in Seattle leagues. But he will still go first overall in other leagues. But I think those are the 5. That is a pretty easy, like the 2 running backs and the 3 receivers. That's a pretty good line of the top 5 at least.
I would take Jamar Chase as my number 1 receiver. Just because he's so safe and just Joe Burrow. Come on. Joe Burrow ain't gonna get hurt again. It's Joe Burrow, baby. Give me Jamar Chase.
If we were guaranteed, again, we have 0 guarantee with fantasy, clearly. But there was a guarantee that Stafford played another whole year and was just 75% what he did this year, Puka's the number 1 guy. Right? I'm saying if there was a guarantee that Stafford is 75%.
My concern is injuries, though. It's just like Puka's awesome. Don't get me wrong, but
what I just said,
Jamar Chase has done the same thing, though.
I'm saying if that was a guarantee, what I just said, Puka would probably be the number 1 guy. If Stafford was 75% of what he was this year, right?
Yeah, my concern is that Puka gets nicked up and plays so hard, and I hate how Sean McVay runs his ass on end arounds. I hate it. Dude, Jamar Chase has had some injury concerns as well. But Jamar Chase is 1 year removed from the Triple Crown. Okay.
No. I'm with you. I personally would say Jamar Chase because he's younger, faster, more athletic, more explosive. He's not as strong or not as big and strong, but younger, not by much, and the better quarterback because Stafford at this point in his career compared to Joe Burrow, in comparison, I mean, I think Sean McVay would pray that he could have Joe Burrow on his team right now compared to Stafford. Maybe not in reality, but I would think he probably would.
You also have to look at it like this: which number 2 in their offense takes away more from the number 1? Does Davante Adams take away more from Puka, or does T. Higgins take away more from Jamar Chase? I would argue that Davante Adams takes away more because those touchdowns, bro.
I told you in prior, I would never ever, and I still won't go into next year pick T. Higgins unless he's a 6th, 7th round pick. People were picking him in the 2nd and 3rd round this year. That's fucking retarded. I'm sorry for anybody who did that. That's fucking dumb. You're picking a
Higgins?
second.
No, that was last year. Last year he was a second.
This year.
He was
This
a fourth
year
round
people
pick.
were doing it. I saw it in my own eyes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dumb.
He was about ADP 39 to 42.
I understand. I'm just telling you because I'm only in home league, so I'm just saying my friends, and I saw it. I was like, good for you. Pick him second round.
Pretty gross.
Like,
pretty gross.
Yeah, very gross.
Richardson is awful at this stage of his career. Let's not forget, Anthony Richardson played 9 games in college and was pretty banged up the first 2 years. And he was 21 years old and 22 years old, right? So he's so young. So young.
But I'll agree with him. He's peasy. He's right. He's not a leader. He doesn't have that it factor to him. He's got everything else. He just doesn't seem to have I don't know. I just have dude, Philip Rivers came in and took that locker room over more than that douchebag.
And that's the difference is Josh Allen had that it factor. He had that leadership. That's the difference, right? I talk about that compared to accuracy woes, and the accuracy woes are worse with Anthony Richardson. But I'd say the raw talent is actually pretty similar between the two coming out of college.
But to your point, Josh Allen.
That's the appeal, though, dude. We're talking about Josh Allen level talents. That's crazy. Get that guy with a coach. Get him with a coach. Get his head straight.
Rob, if we really want to go down that road, bro, then
you're getting him for free, though. You're getting him for free. And if you're a team like the Dolphins, what do you have to lose?
I get what you're saying, but I'm just going to say, if we're going to say that, Jamarcus Russell had Josh Allen talent because Josh Allen had Jamarcus Russell talent.
Okay, let me ask you this, right? Would you rather have Kyler Murray if you're the Dolphins? And let's say that the Cardinals, release Kyler Murray.
Anthony
Richardson. Pick up Anthony Richardson or Kyler Murray.
Anthony Richardson.
There you go. Because you know what Kyler Murray is. He's terrible. He's just he's going to get you almost a 500
record.
record.
He can see over the line.
Correct.
I'm just saying that's not the only reason. I'm saying that's a big thing. Like he can see over the line, and we know what Kyler does.
Stafford's going to win MVP based on age. It's going to help the career achievement award we talked about. It's close right now because he did play better than. I mean, Drake May had to do nothing in this game, so I feel like it's a 50-50, a true 50-50. And I got to look at the odds. What the odds if they shifted it all after this game? But true 50-50.
You want to do a $100 bet? I'll take Stafford. You take May?
No. I'm not betting on opinion because it's an opinion award. It's literally an opinion. It's an award. Don't bet on those things.
So Ray's opinion's more right. I'm joking. I know you.
Let's see.
Because he is. I know his fears. I don't know if you saw me and Rob did talk about this. Like Stafford has never won the MVP. This is probably the last year he'll ever be in MVP conversation. He's gonna, and if he doesn't retire for this year, he'll retire the year or two after. Drake May is year 2. He will have another 15 years of opportunity to be year in and year out in the fucking conversation and win it. It's just like any other unfortunate MVPs, like basketball, football, baseball. They all do the same shit. If there's a guy who's been around for a while, they give it to the person who's been there longer. Like, it's not right, but that's just the way they do it.
Bijan, it's not so much that Morris is out of there, it's that Algier might be out of there. But here's the thing. Bijan, I was talking about receivers. Bijan is the number 1 pick. He was my number 1 pick this year. He's gonna be my number 1 pick next year, just based on availability. Like he might not be. Remember how Antonio Brown used to always go number 1, but always finishes like a top 5 player? He was just so safe. Bijan's so safe. And especially in PPR, you get that 17 games he plays. You get, the nice floor of like 14 points. You get the upside of the 40-point games. Yeah, CMC, has probably more upside. Puka has more upside, but Bijan
Rob, you said the most important and the only reason why he is the number 1 pick and should be, the dude has never missed a game in his career. If you're able to pick a guy who puts up top 5 overall points in the league and you can pick that guy first overall and you almost, and of course I'll talk this and I'll draft him next year and he'll miss the whole fucking season with a blown Achilles, knowing Ray's luck. But just in general, these first 3 seasons, especially this year, that's why I drafted him first overall in the league. I won because I've been loving this guy from the day he was drafted, and I've been drafting him. But this year, he's finally matured and gotten to that level of being elite. And it didn't matter the quarterback play, the receiver play, who was healthy. He was matchup proof. Now, he had some bad games, of course, but everybody has some bad games. But I'm just saying the most important stat and reasoning is availability. That dude hasn't missed a game yet. Also helps when he's 6 foot, 200 pounds.
you got to realize that the 1, 2, and 3 spots, you're never getting value on your pick, because if you're the first overall pick, you can never return value. You can return it, you cannot exceed value. So you want to get the top. You want to get a safe guy. You cannot win your league most likely with your first pick, because it's the first overall pick. You can lose it though. So if you pick a risky player, you can lose it. UNC Panthers need to draft a quarterback, like a late 4th rounder, because Andy is not. It's not bad. He is just. Well, Andy Dalton's gone. You're all in on Bryce Young. You guys are all. He just led you to the playoffs. It's not a sexy player, but this is funny though. Furious says Sauce Gardner was 1-7 on each team. I hate Sauce Gardner, so that just makes me very, very.
Hey, real
happy.
quick, Rob. I think this will make you a little happy, just because you know more basketball than I do. But Sauce Gardner really is. Him and Zach LaVine seem to have a lot of eerily bad. Eerily bad similarities where wherever they go, they're the top guy, best dude, talent on the team, and then that team never does anything or wins or go to the playoffs. Whoops. And if everybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, Zach LaVine, he was on the Bulls, he's on the Kings right now. He is the most most loser winning percentage basketball player of all time. He's like 35% and less.
He's just a loser, and Ray wants to fight him.
You stupid fuck. Go buy some sandals. Go buy some sandals. You want to fight? I'll fight you. I haven't fought in 10 years. I'm fighting you. What you got? Let's see. Throw down, bitch. Throw down, bitch.
Zach LaVine's sister is bad, though, as in she's hot. That's the term, right? Bad means hot. I can see that. Zach LaVine's not a bad-looking guy himself, just not a great basketball player. All right, we're caught up in the questions, guys, so get your last couple questions in. Tomorrow, we're going to go and kind of shift gears. We're going to be doing a couple football shows a week throughout the entire offseason. Thursday night, we'll be doing a football show, the Wild Card Weekend preview. But tomorrow night, we're doing Step Brothers. We are doing a deep dive into Step Brothers, and it's going to be awesome. So get all your questions in. Colby says Stafford should get MVP. The competition you play does matter. No offense to May. Yeah, Colby, we were talking about this yesterday a lot, and I'll say this. That is a good point, but also the weapons you have around you and the coach you have around you matters as well. That favors Stafford, Puka, and Devontae Adams, opposed to, a 50% player and Stephon Diggs and Mike Vrabel, who's a defensive coach.
Like we agreed, though, if that is the main factor, only thing, like, let's say everyone we're talking, if me and Rob were high-end fucking raids that we have our own MVP votes, and me and Rob were individually arguing this conversation. Okay, Stafford has a better career, has had a great year. He should win the MVP because he just needs to, because he's a Hall of Fame guy and never won it. Rob would go on the end of I'm just saying playing devil's advocate, you'd be like, well, cool, I get that, and I don't disagree with that, but May has had a better year, and he had a team that had a top 3 pick, right? He was third. Top 3 pick last year, and we have the first overall, and my numbers are better than the other quarterbacks in my draft class and pretty much everybody else. So I'm saying
I think it's a wash. I would vote for both. I want co MVPs. Is that cool? Can we have that? They both deserve it.
No.
I would last year they both deserved it too. No. Lamar and Josh Allen both deserved it last year.
I'd rather just give it to be I'll be that guy. I'll just give it to Stafford because I know Drake May will be back.
He will, yeah.
But Rob, but I'm just saying. But your main argument is a real good argument. Like, he doesn't have his best guy in comparison to, if the Rams looked at the weapons that the Patriots have, I think the only guy that they would want on their team would be Hunter Henry. Because Hunter Henry's better than Parkinson. You know what I mean? Like, and Higbee. But not by much. That's what I'm saying, but not by much. I'm saying, like, maybe, I'm saying in Madden terms, Hunter Henry's an 85, and we're talking Parkinson and Higbee's like an 82, 83 to an 80.
That's it. That's the only player you'd want.
And maybe Stephon Diggs over the third receiver. That's about it. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, but that's his number 1. So it's just like that's
right.
the thing.
Yeah,
and also, I want Sean McVay as a play caller over Josh McDaniel. So
Unfortunately.
McDaniel's a fine coordinator. He's a fine coordinator, but Sean McVay's an elite coordinator.
That dude's had his
head
time,
coach.
and he hasn't shown what he should.
All right, gentlemen, that is it for us. One more spot. By the way, one spot left in the NFL playoff fantasy league we're running. We have 9 right now. If
Is my buddy
tomorrow?
Is my buddy in that, Steve?
No.
Okay, I was saying he wants to be in it. So, like, he said he's.
You can ask him. Tell him to text me.
No,
otherwise, if no one fills it, you and Chaz both have your own teams. So ask him though. Ask him. I'd like to have 10. You and Chaz can split it. I'm
texting him right now.
Text him right now and tell him to text me. UNC thoughts on Dave Canales. Man, he made some boneheaded calls in that game that he lost. I like Dave Canales though. I think he's an upbeat, upstart young coach. I think he's a top half coach in the league. So I would like him as my coach if we didn't have Ben Johnson, for instance, just because there's a lot of bad coaches. Sure. I don't think he's one of them. I like him. Yeah, no, I agree with that. X's and O's, I don't think is great. It's average, but I think he is a leader, and I think that he gets the team to buy in, and that's a big. It's a Mike Tomlin factor, right? He's got some of that in his game, so big fan of that. All right, guys, thank you for everyone in the chat. Colby, UNC, Dennis, Peasy, Furious, Ray for coming on.
Love you guys. Dude,
if you're interested in supporting your boys.
Are you part of the Discord yet?
Huh?
Unc Prods?
No. So yeah, Prods, Easy. If you want to hop in, we'd love to have you. ProfessionalFanatics.com, or just go to the link in this video. We'll get you over to the Patreon. And then I'll get you in the Discord. Also, you get more than just the Discord. You get access to my early bets. You get the community fantasy leagues. You get guest appearances in the pods if you want to go all the way up to the highest tier. Free merchandise giveaway. I'm gonna giving away one of these hats for the January giveaway here in about a week. If you want to put your name in the hat, so to speak, there's like 13 people that are still available to get them. So a lot of perks in there. So appreciate all you guys. Ray, thank you. We will see you tomorrow night with Step Brothers. Ray, did you do all your research yet? You ready for that show?
Nope, I have my own research that I did before, so.
Hey, yo. All right. See you guys.
Hey, Rob,
stay positive.
love,
love your life.
Love the chat.
Respect each other. We're out of here.